What if I told you that greatness wasn't always about buckets? That sometimes the legends were forged in silence, in the shadows, in the half-step they took away from the game's greatest scorers. This is the story of the NBA's greatest enforcers, the defenders who changed the outcome without ever needing to score. Welcome to Episode 1 of our 5-part series, Top 25 Defenders in NBA History. Number 25, Bruce Bowen. Bruce Bowen was never the most athletic player on the court, nor the fastest, but he was always the most annoying, in the best defensive sense. He was the kind of defender who would study your footwork, anticipate your jab step, and contest your shot without ever fouling, at least according to the referees. One of his most famous battles came in the 2003 Western Conference semifinals when he harassed Kobe Bryant into multiple poor shooting nights. Kobe still got his points, but Bowen made him work for every single one, draining his legs by the fourth quarter. "He played me tougher than most," Bryant admitted. "He never gave me the same look twice." What made Bowen elite was that he understood defensive rhythm. He wasn't just reacting, he was creating discomfort. That discomfort led to rushed shots, forced passes, and frustration. He didn't care about applause, he cared about stops. And for 3 championships, the Spurs wouldn't have gotten them without Bruce. Off the court, Bowen's legacy sparked debates. Was he dirty or just committed? But even his harshest critics agree. His footwork, discipline, and persistence influenced an entire generation of wing defenders. In today's NBA, defenders like Drew Holiday, Lou Dort, and Matisse Thybulle owe a part of their defensive ethos to Bruce Bowen. He proved that defense isn't just a highlight, it's a habit. Number 24, Mookie Blaylock. Mookie Blaylock had a way of making guards second-guess themselves. He'd creep into your passing lanes and snatch your dribble like a ghost. His 1993 playoff series against the Boston Celtics is a masterclass in perimeter defense, averaging 3.4 steals per game and routinely shifting momentum. In an era that featured elite scorers like Tim Hardaway, Kenny Anderson, and Kevin Johnson, Mookie held his own and often won. He wasn't a flashy lockdown artist. He was methodical. He would bump you off your route, then cut off the next. He forced ball handlers into help, baited bad decisions, and finished with quick hands. Jason Kidd once credited Mookie as the blueprint for his own defensive mentality. That's legacy. That's impact. And that's why Mookie Blaylock isn't just a name on this list. He's a pillar for all modern point-of-attack defenders. Blaylock's influence extended beyond stats. The Atlanta Hawks became a top defense in the East because of his leadership at the point of attack. He often guarded players 6 inches taller and never blinked. His anticipation and lateral quickness made him a lockdown defender without the need for help. You won't find a mixtape of Mookie's steals, but you will find elite guards who still remember his pressure. And that's the mark of a true defender. Number 23, Joe Dumars. Joe Dumars wasn't just a defender, he was an institution. Against Clyde Drexler in the 1990 finals, he held him to subpar shooting nights while orchestrating the Pistons' offense. That two-way mastery is why he was so revered. But his own crown jewel were the Jordan battles. Sure, MJ got his numbers, but Dumars made sure he felt every possession. He'd mirror Jordan's footwork, contest mid-range fadeaways, and absorb drives without flinching. And he never got rattled. Isaiah Thomas once said, "Joe was the only guy who guarded Mike and didn't take it personal." That's what made him so effective. He treated it like a job. That kind of level-headed discipline in the most heated moments is what separates elite defenders from everyone else. Dumars was chess in a game full of checkers. Beyond the court, Dumars helped build another defensive dynasty as an executive. He drafted Tayshaun Prince, acquired Ben Wallace, and re-emphasized the value of defense as the backbone of a championship team. Dumars was a two-way symbol, a lockdown guard on the court, and a visionary off it. Few defenders have shaped the game in so many roles. In the lore of Detroit basketball, he is both sentinel and architect. Number 22, Metta World Peace, Ron Artest. Ron Artest brought intensity to a level that made the NBA nervous. He was volatile, sure, but beneath that edge was a technical savant. In the 2010 NBA Finals, he was instrumental in wearing down Paul Pierce and Ray Allen across 7 grueling games. And in Game 7, he hit the title-clinching 3, but he earned that moment with suffocating defense all series long. LeBron James recalled early matchups with Artest as a challenge that woke you up. He would body you at the elbow, trap you on the block, and refuse to give an inch. He had linebacker strength with a guard's lateral movement. Even more impressive, Artest took pride in the film room. He dissected opponents' tendencies, favorite moves, and go-to counters. He prepared like a point guard, but enforced like a middle linebacker. That rare blend is why he remains one of the most unique defensive weapons in league history. Even in retirement, Metta remains a symbol of defensive identity. Younger players like Jimmy Butler and Dylan Brooks cite him as an influence, someone who wore effort like a badge of honor. He turned flaws into force, using emotion as fuel. His 2010 Game 7 postgame quote said it best: "Defense wins championships. I had to earn that tonight." And he did, with every stop, every bump, every refusal to lose ground. Number 21, Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace turned rejection into art. His 2005 playoff series against the Miami Heat saw him anchor a Pistons defense that held Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal below their regular season efficiency, forcing tough shots, altering passing angles, and dominating the glass. No moment captured Wallace's essence more than the 2004 Finals. Matched up against Shaq, one of the most dominant forces the league has ever seen, Ben didn't just survive. He challenged everything. He forced double takes. He neutralized the Lakers' inside-out offense and helped dismantle a dynasty. Doc Rivers said, "Ben Wallace is what every young big man should study. He had zero ego, total commitment, and the heart of a warrior." That heart became the soul of the Pistons. Wallace's jersey now hangs in the rafters of Detroit, not because he scored, but because he stopped others from doing so. Wallace wasn't just a defender. He was a culture, a symbol of hard-nosed, no-excuses basketball that Detroit embodied. His afro became iconic, his energy contagious. You didn't just play against Ben Wallace, you entered a defensive mindset. Today, whenever an undersized big plays bigger than expected, Ben Wallace is the ghost behind the scenes. He's not just a Hall of Famer, he's a defensive legacy. Those were numbers 25 through 21, 5 players who made an entire league feel their presence without ever lighting up a scoreboard. Bruce Bowen, the master of calculated chaos. Mookie Blaylock, the silent pickpocket. Joe Dumars, the gentleman defender who tamed Jordan. Metta World Peace, defense personified in fury. And Ben Wallace, the undersized giant who made big men question their power. These are not just names on a list. These are disruptors of rhythm, guardians of the paint, agitators of even the greatest offensive minds. And we're just getting started. In episode 2, we'll dive deeper into the minds of defensive savants, into the stories that don't make highlight reels, but define legacies. More clamps, more chaos, more legends. This is defense.